how's everyone out there? Where are you from? Country, city, state, all the normal stuff that we ask of you guys out there. And I've already got a couple. Jolyn, who's coming in with me today. She is a member of the community. So I'm going to invite her up. Hello, Jolyn. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today, my dear. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good topic.
Of course. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's an important one. And thank you,
and
Mike, for
timely.
putting that out there. Yeah, I think so. Especially right around Christmas, right?
Exactly.
Everybody needs a new Christmas present.
We all need a new Christmas present, especially the techies. And especially with Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up and all the sales that'll be on, it's definitely worth planning ahead and figuring out what you need.
Yep. So what kind of brought this on for me, this topic, this one, at work, we didn't necessarily need a new computer. Our computer worked fine, etc. We didn't realize how fast it could be though. So when we upgraded and actually got a whole new computer, and when I say upgrade, I mean, it could mean just upgrading the software. It could mean upgrading what tools you're using, that kind of thing. And when we got brand new computers with new software and a faster system, I couldn't believe how much of a difference it was. But we didn't know we needed it. Yeah. So it's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. How do you know when? How can you tell when?
Can I ask what operating system was the old one, and did you go to Windows 11 for the new ones?
No, we did not go to Windows 11. We stayed with Windows 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have
familiarity.
A guy who,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, we have a guy here that is a good buddy of mine, and Windows 11, you have to have an account. You have to sign in to an account to get in. I believe there's like workarounds, but still, it's still it's mushy and wishy-washy and all that kind of stuff. And we felt like, well, since 10 didn't need you to sign in, and we're so comfortable with those systems at work, we don't need to sign in every time and all that kind of stuff. So we chose to just stick with that route. We stayed with Windows 10, but I will say the system we got was just so much more RAM, so much more oomph. I mean, it was just a faster speed. We had a slower speed computer, and that was our motivation. But there might be other motivations, and that's kind of why I threw a couple questions up there. How to tell when you tell you need a computer, because sometimes you need one and don't know you need one, and sometimes you need one and you do know you need one, and then you have to decide on things like what brand should you buy, or even what specific device. Like if you're going to upgrade or just buy a new device, that kind of thing. So you have to, some systems you can manipulate, like motherboards, you can add different hard drives to make it a faster hard drive if that's all you need, and add some more RAM. Some don't have that capacity to get to that next level. So there's so many questions to ask yourself. We found that we were waiting on stuff, and it wasn't internet wise. We were waiting on stuff to load. It was on the local hard drive that we were waiting on, just like Google Drive files to load up. And it was just, I mean, we didn't realize we didn't realize how much time. We just thought that was the norm. And I actually thought, since it was Google Drive, that it was just all internet based. I didn't even think of that. But boy, the system makes such a difference. The other thing is too, that I'm bringing this up only because, I went to London and I could not get my laptop to charge because I didn't have the right charge, didn't have the right 110 outlet or converter. Yes. Or transformer. Excuse me. I had converters, did not have transformers to transform the power down to 110 and keep the ground, because you have to have the ground. So all of that being said, if I would have brought my Chromebook, everything would have been fine, because all that takes is a USB-C to charge it into a wall, and I'd have been fine, because they have plenty of converters for USB-C and USB-A and all that kind of stuff. So those are things to consider when you're doing that kind of stuff. Not only
how you're going to use it, but where you're going to use
it. That's right. Yes. And it's so much easier a lot of times to charge just straight USB somewhere than it is to have to find a plug and make sure that if you lose or a dog bites one of those cords, there's plenty of USB cords to go around, where to find the correct cord for your device and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that I know people that have had that happen to them. Let's just put it that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Andrew says going from a 7th gen i7 to a 12th gen i7 makes a huge difference. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, because
when I got my new laptop, I had a decent the AMD Ryzen 5 chip, and I went ahead and I had a 500 gigabyte SSD and a secondary terabyte hard drive, and it was wonderful until the battery decided it wanted to heat up and expand. So I got a new one, and so I have a 32 gigabyte AMD Ryzen 7 and 2 terabytes of hard disk space, because that's how I use a computer. So I knew, and I found one that was a reasonable price for me at the time this summer, and I'm glad I got it because it's working brilliantly. But knowing what I needed and how I work, that is key.
Yeah, I think so too.
We all work differently. We all learn differently.
Mm-hmm. I know you can get like a gamer capable laptop. But the problem is that it still has laptop issues. It can overheat. There's different things can happen. You mentioned the battery expanding, different things like that. So making these considerations when you're doing that is a key thing. Mike says, last week I helped a lifelong friend decide what to get to replace her 10-year-old computer. Walked around Best Buy for about an hour discussing things, and she bought nothing. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that I'm not a huge fan of personally. We talk about this in our community when we do our daily tips. We have conversations afterward. One of the reasons I don't like Samsung products anymore, nothing against them. I have Samsung TVs. I love Samsung. I love the brand. It's just all the bloatware they add onto their phone when they add it on there, it just drives me bananas. So,
I will get one. Yeah.
And that's kind of the way like your Dell computers do, and your different systems like that. They throw a lot of extra stuff on there on top of what you really need. Considering
McAfee has paid to be on every single Windows computer that's been sold in the last 15 years, yeah, I consider that not a necessity.
Right.
Because, and as far as I've used Microsoft security and Malwarebytes since 2007, and everything works fine. So you don't need the extra, but there's also other things that they do add. Almost every computer coming with a Dropbox offer now, and other offers for subscriptions. So as far as the software side of things, you have to be aware of what it is you need and want. And also, another thing is they also have, at least on the Windows side, they have the S models, which are the pared down versions of Windows that work with only Windows apps.
Oh, okay.
So you can convert it back to a normal computer that can use any app, but they're less expensive. And we've had a number of our computer club members who've come in with that kind of thing, and they couldn't figure out why they couldn't download Chrome, or they couldn't so there are things to be aware of. But and these days, the speed of the brain, the chip, and the amount of random access memory, which are the two, and the graphics card.
Yeah,
those are the three things to really, really think about. And
true.
And now with all of the new Mac stuff that's coming out, they're M1 chip, M2 chip, and all the things that they're coming out with now, that's a whole nother side of things that you have to, if you want to go to the Mac side, it's a little bit the same concept, but a little bit different parameters.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that's a valid point. And all of these numbers and letters that she's throwing around and all this kind of stuff, the M2, the R2D2s, and whatever else she's talking about. You know, how are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know what to do? And a lot of us don't know. So a lot of us do go to like computer clubs that you help out, or they are on channels like mine and that kind of stuff. And we talk about these kind of things with like-minded people that can come up and help us with this kind of stuff. I really found that, and I like Andrew's comment about the 4 cycle. Now there's no regular cycle. Yeah. And there you go. And Gil says, wow, Jolin, a Cadillac laptop. Yeah, it's true. And then bloatware. Yep. Yeah. Just the thing, that's one reason that I really love and enjoy the guy that makes computers for me. I can pretty much say, hey, here's what I want. Here's what I don't want.
That's the other
because I'm knowledgeable, but there's a lot of people out there that are not knowledgeable. So I think it's a lot of time. If you have that person or a person, Best Buy is just trying to make a sale. Bottom line, they want you to walk out of there. They want you to have a sale. I'm just using that as an example because Mike brought it up when he talked about the comment that he brought up or whatever. And it's just, you sit there and you say, okay, what do I need? Do I need this? This is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of extra stuff. And the problem is nowadays, like many of us found when the pandemic hit, we didn't even think we needed a camera or a laptop or a whatever,
until
I know. So when all of that hit, it was like, okay, maybe I do need some of this stuff. So it's like, and they're finding more and more. I mean, a lot of people are using it for personal use now, which is awesome. So why not have a system that's going to give you, instead of getting this jagged old whatever, and some of that has to do with internet, but why not get a computer that's powerful enough to handle it as well? So, and some Chromebooks do a great job. Some phones do a great job. Yeah, tablets. Yes.
Yeah. So you may, and I know we have a number of members who have decided they don't really need a computer, that a tablet, an iPad or an Android tablet is more than enough for them. I have a lovely little Samsung tablet that I love. And well, you can pretty much take anything back. That's not the problem. It's knowing what you want in the first place.
He's just having fun with us.
Well, he's having fun with Costco. Of course he is.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, it was the main sales guy that asked if he could help us. Didn't want to terminology to actual help. That's the other thing I find.
That's true.
One of the things that I recommend to anyone going shopping for tech, go to the store, doesn't matter, Staples or Sam's or Costco or Best Buy. Leave your wallet in the car, lock it up, of course, and go and walk around and touch and feel and lift and try everything out based on what you're thinking of getting, and then go to another store and do the same thing. And then what I will do, because in some cases those computers were manufactured a year ago, shipped to the warehouse, and they have to be shipped to the store's warehouse. Then they are distributed to the stores. Sometimes you can get a 6-month-old computer off the shelf. So I've been known to look and touch and decide, and go to the manufacturer's website.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
And then if you need to, you can fine tune. But I like to go because I like to see, will a 14-inch do for me? Or do I want the 16 or the 17-inch so I have the number pad, and looking and feel, judging based on how it looks and how it feels and whether it will work for you at home.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the hardest thing is to know, I mean, and to know how to even research. Sometimes you just don't know how to research. So all I'm saying is find the geek in your family, or find the geek that you know, and try and get some help from them, get some added advice. I know, as I mentioned again, in our wonderful community that we have, that of all the members, we actually talk about this kind of stuff. This is kind of stuff that we talk in the background, saying, hey, well, we got this and they got this kind of thing. This thing's new out and all this kind of stuff. And I know, Andrew, who has like 10 Chromebooks, he always puts a comment out there about, hey, this one's coming out and all that kind of stuff. And that's right. With dealing with anything over 3 years old is just, tech advances. And that's kind of where I was, even with my system. My system was probably 4 years old. And my computer guy that I said, hey, look, we have these at work. We have these computers that we bought from you, and And he said, oh no, that's old. I mean, you need to come in get some new. I said, all right, well, let me try one. I'll try one myself, get everything moved over and all that kind of stuff. And that's the other hassle you have is moving stuff over, things that you have and all that kind of stuff. One thing that we do, we have a hard drive on my brother's computer because he does plans and stuff, and it takes up so much memory and stuff. And just so we didn't put that onto a cloud drive, because it would use up all of our Dropbox or all of our whatever, whatever we use. So he had that on the hard drive. So converting all that over and bringing all that over has been interesting, to say the least. Trying to get all the ones he wants and then the ones he doesn't want and all that kind of stuff. So that's something to consider as maybe an external hard drive for stuff like that. So that way you can push things a little easier when you do this.
And
next time for another.
Yeah, and what you have, whatever you are currently working with, do that now. Create the backup setup for yourself. Yes. Windows has backup to file history, both in Windows 10, and you can also do it in Windows 11. You have to get into the control panel, but you can do it. I know that Apple has the backup, and of course Chromebook has Google Drive, so it's a little bit different, but most Chromebooks even have hard disk space to store stuff on. So, but because it's Google Drive, it's much easier to recover because all of your account is in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Valid point. But there's some stuff like that my brother, he'd rather have it. I don't know why. He'd rather have it offline, so that way he can work on it offline.
Oh, absolutely.
So he can just say, I need to take this off, add this, do this kind of stuff. So that's kind of why he does it. But again, that's his use case.
But you also have to make sure you have a very strong and lasting external drive, because I've heard of issues with some external drives going south. So sometimes it's worth having a double backup.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuart says, I've just upgraded my PC to a top spec and today sold my old HP i7, which I configured as a dual boot, Windows 10 Linux for sale. Nice. Also bought a MacBook Pro M2 Max laptop. So up to date. Yeah, no doubt. You definitely did some good new furniture in your house. That's what I call it.
And also the differences between what a business might need, like you're talking about updating in the office, versus what the individual needs for their home use.
True.
Or have a business at home. What level do you go to? So it's worth finding people to discuss it with.
Yep.
And don't go into the store getting ready to buy and bring it home. Then go and explore. Then do reviews online. There's all kinds of stuff out there online, but take your time with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Andrew, knock on wood right now. Andrew, knock on wood, because it's going to fail tonight. So yes, I agree. But it is, that SSD hard drive is so much faster. It's so much better. Yeah, it's so much. It makes what a difference. That's the first upgrade we did when we, in our old computers at work, we actually got all new hard drives, which made a huge difference. And now with the new system, it's made even more of a difference. So that's what it's kind of what promoted this conversation. I said, you know what?
It's a good one this time of year for sure.
Well, we should throw that out there. Yeah, because we got Black Friday coming up and holidays and
Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
And then of course all of the sales after Christmas.
True.
So if you don't need one immediately.
Yeah. And you may not need it. You may not need it. Exactly. Sometimes you have to weigh out, hey, listen, I've got this extra money. Do I want to spend this now? And do I want to spend it on this? And then you're sitting there saying, do I really want that much? Do I need to be that much faster? Am I happy with what I got? So you have to look at that too. You know what I'm saying? There you go. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Mine does too.
And Mike says Boxing Day.
And Boxing Day, of course, Mike. Thank you.
All right, we are going to start wrapping up here, but I think this is a good one. So if you're watching this later and I'd love to see some comments of what you think, what your thought process is. How do you use it in your head, or do you think about this, or is this first time hearing about this and saying, wow, that's a good idea, or that kind of thing, I'd love to get any kind of feedback. Be sure to put that into the comments, because this video will be around. I will have it around so you can check it out and come chat about it. And we're going to talk about this more in the Backstage Pass. So I'd love to have some of those members. I will put that Backstage Pass link. Let me get that together as we speak.
So and come join the community, guys. I discovered Tinkering with Tech, I think, just at the beginning of COVID shutdowns. And what a marvelous community of engaging, interested, knowledgeable people willing to share what they know and learn from each other. It's just a marvelous, marvelous community. And we thank you, Michael.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. And that is on YouTube, the join button. I had to mention this because somebody wanted to join from Facebook, and there's no such animal. You have to come into my YouTube channel and join from there when things start getting slow and you've done everything else. It's time to upgrade. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's a valid point. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take us on out. Jalen, thank you very much. We'll see you in the Backstage Pass. Any members, feel free to come join us. I just put the link in our normal spot. Come join us. We would love to have you in the Backstage Pass. Thanks, everybody.
I'll see you over there.
Bye.